Week number 3 of my rut busting, and I felt like I started out strong, but that didn't work out so well. The beautiful spring weather had me super excited to bust out all those pretty girly spring looks. And I've been pairing heads with dresses my whole life, so it's very exciting for me that this look that I've done my entire life is now in. We talk about the mountain coming to Muhammad. So on April 18th, Monday, this is one of my favorite skirts. It just makes me happy. I got it off the sale rack at Anthropologie a couple years ago, and honestly, it's really a little too big. It kind of hangs on my hips instead of the waist, but I just feel so happy every time I wear it, so I don't care. It's got imperfectly screen printed cypress trees that sort of remind me of Italy for reasons I don't know because I've never been to Italy yet. And I just knew the off-the-shoulder coral top would be perfect with it. And I loved that bare feeling around the neck and shoulders, so I accessorized with just a really, really simple turquoise choker and a simple white purse. Unfortunately, this particular off-the-shoulder top decided that it wanted to be completely off of my body.
Off the shoulder is one thing, but this top doesn't really have a lot of great structure in it, so it keeps wanting to dip down, and that's why I'm being extra cautious and wearing a strapless bra, but I just as soon not have to worry about that. So I think that even though this top is super cute, I think it's going into the recycling bin. Time to give it away, pass it along to somebody who might fill it out a little bit better than I.
It just kept slipping and slipping, and I was tugging and adjusting, and it's just too much, and you can't enjoy your clothes when you're having to experience that. So I swapped out, and I didn't like my swap nearly as much. The pastel peach was just a little bland, so I swapped out to my orange purse again. So there you have it. April 19th. The weather has been absolutely amazing. 90 degrees, so it had me skipping spring entirely and acting like it was summer. It was my second week of wearing skirts, so I figured it was probably a good time to get around to shaving my legs. Woo. Summer dressing is pretty easy for me. I lived in Phoenix for the last 3 years, so I'm super prepared for boiling hot weather. This is just a tank style dress. I got at Ross Dress for Less last summer. It means it's probably not super on trend right now, but it's t-shirt fabric, so it's super comfy and feels good, and I think that counts for a lot. And the shirring at the hips is a good look for me. I think that no matter what fashion and style and trend dictates, real style is about knowing what works on you, and then you incorporate the trendy details, like the gladiator sandals and the faux leather gold bracelet that I got from H&M a couple years ago. April 20, well, April 20, 420, yeah. My friend Nancy and I both have our medical marijuana cards. I was diagnosed with arthritis in my hips, about 15 years ago, and I've found that I can't take painkillers, but the medical marijuana does a good job of helping me sleep at night, so I'm not in pain from the sheets. Anybody who's had arthritis in their hips knows how painful sleeping can be. We decided we'd have a recreational day, and it's been the one YouTube video where I've gotten a whole bunch of thumbs down, so woo, there you have it. You can check that out if you want. Boho chic is a look that I've done for years. It's super comfortable. It just sort of appeals to my soul. I wore a mini skirt under it that felt really a little too short, and I did wear shorts under it. It was also a little too full underneath this particular top. I'd have done better with a leaner or an A-line mini, I think. As soon as I get my scissors sharpened, I'm going to be cutting up a bunch of my old jeans into cutoffs, because cutoffs are in this year, so that's what I would probably do with it the next time. April 21, I was honestly a little slow to start my day. I had a lot of edibles the day before, and it had me feeling a little slodgy the next day, so I spent most of the day just editing the video and sitting around in my underwear, and then unfortunately I had the very sad news that Prince passed away, And I just never really got my shit together the rest of the day. So there's not an outfit for Thursday. There's me in my underwear. There you have it. April 22nd, this was another one of those days where I had an audition, so I was dressing in character. This one was to play an art teacher. I went with a vintage celery green dress from the early 60s, that's a favorite of mine, and I wore a chunky turquoise necklace to give it that artsy-fartsy thing. Embroidered sweaters, since, classrooms can tend to get cold, and sensible shoes. Now, the next time I wear this dress, I like it with this sweater, but I think I'm going to wear it with my orange platform embroidered sandals because I think they'll brighten it up a whole lot. Saturday, I went to Monsterpalooza with Jewel Shepard, who has starred in a gazillion movies back in the 80s and 90s. The color to wear at Monsterpalooza is black. Monsterpalooza is sort of the Comic-Con of horror movie makeup. So naturally I decided that day to wear white jeans. I'm still trying to play with patterns. Loved the bold navy and white chevron print, but my tank was a little cool and bare on its own for spring, so I took a vintage jacket that is lined with a navy and white gingham, and I really liked the way those went together. I think this season with bold navy and white, you could pair any color with it and have it really look great. I chose a spruce green because I think it brings out my eyes, but any color would really pop. I dressed the look down with my coral pink sneakers, and I had to try really, really hard not to gloat because Jewel's feet were hurting in her giant platform sandals, and I had on sensible, comfy sneakers that were totally hip. Sunday night, a friend of mine was performing at the Magic Castle and invited me and my dear friend Liz Kane to be his guests. Getting dressed up and going out with your best girlfriend is, I have to say, a pretty darn great way to finish up the week. I mean, it's nice to get dressed up to go out on a date, but there's always all this stuff you have to think about when you're on a date with a man. Is it sexy? Is it too sexy? What's he gonna think? The hair has to be soft and touchable, blah, 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 blah. And ultimately, it's just really, really freeing to go out and spend an evening with your best girlfriend, get dressed up and have fun, because style is less about how you look and more about how you feel. And if you feel good, you look good. So spend time with friends. Feel good. Have a great week.